Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to teach you all how to solve this puzzle, which is one of the most difficult, and it is called the Rubik's Cube. Now most of you may know this as one of the hardest puzzles ever to be created, where you turn and move the colors until it is in the solved shape where all the colors are matched on each of their sides. And most of you probably will be using this cube, which is a Rubik's brand. But the difference is this one is a speed cube, this is a Rubik's brand, and on this channel and in the cubing community, these channels are devoted to solving cubes as fast as they can. So on this channel you can find all types of cubing related stuff, and in this video I'm going to teach you how to solve this Rubik's Cube. So what I would recommend doing is watching my introduction video, which will be linked in the description, and if you don't know anything about this Rubik's Cube, that will help you learn more about it. So if you watch my introduction video, that can help you learn more about the basics of the cube, but if you know most about it, then you can stay on this video. So let's get right into it. So as you can see, I have my cube scrambled, and the first step is to solve the white cross. And the white cross would look like this when you're done, so it will look something like this. And as you can see, I have the white cross done like this, and each of the white edge pieces are like this. They match their center and they're white. So this is what the white cross should look like when you're done with it. So first what you're going to do is you're going to put all of the white edge pieces on the yellow layer. So this is the yellow layer, since as you can see it has the yellow center right there. So I have my blue edge, and first you want to look on the white layer. And these layers are named by what their center is. So this is the white layer, this is the red, blue, orange, green, and this is the yellow. So what you're going to do is you're going to look to see on the white layer if there's any white edges. So this one would be a white edge, but this one is not facing the white layer, so that wouldn't count since this white edge is facing the blue layer. So this edge is facing the white layer. So what you want to do if it's right here is you want to move that layer twice. So I'd be moving the green layer twice right here, because then that would put the blue edge on the bottom. Now I wouldn't want to move the white layer twice because that would keep it in the white layer. So I want to move the green layer twice, and that would move that edge. Next, if there's no other ones on the white layer, what you want to do is you want to put in any of them that are on the middle layer. So as you can see, I have this edge here, and the way you put it in is you just move it like this until it's facing the top. And if it's at a different orientation, you can move it with your right hand. But as you can see, if I move it up, that'd take the blue one down. So I want to move the blue one to a different side. Since this one will be moving up right here, I want to move this one right here. Since this is an unsolved edge and this isn't a white edge, I want to move the blue over, and then I want to replace it with this one. So now I have two of them on the white layer. And lastly, if it's on the top layer or bottom layer and they are flipped, so they're not facing the white or they're not facing the yellow, what you want to do is you want to make sure that the edge that's on the bottom that's facing the white layer isn't there. So if I had the red right here, I wouldn't want it right there because that would take the blue out, but you want to put it where an incorrect edge is, and since there's no correct edges right there, I can take it out. And then what you want to do is you want to move it just like that, and now as you can see, I can put it in. And then lastly, I can put the green one in just like that. Those are the three cases that you would need to know. And now let's get into the second step of solving the white cross. So you move the white edge till it's right here, and as you can see, this red edge matches its center, and what you need to do here is you want to move that layer twice. So since I'm focusing on the red and white edge, I move the red layer twice, and now that edge is solved on the bottom. So you repeat it for the rest of them. As you can see, I already have this green one right here, so I move it twice, and now it's on the bottom. I can do the same for orange. I have it connected to the orange one, move it on the bottom, and then I have this last one, which is blue, and I can move it twice, so it's over here, and it's connected to the center. Then I move it on the bottom. And then all of your edges should be solved, so you have the white cross done. So once you have your white cross done, the next step is to finish the first layer. So that would be putting each of the individual corners into each of their places. So first what I'm going to teach you is this one algorithm that you're going to be using throughout all of this video. So you'll be using this when you're solving the rest of the cube, and this is a really common algorithm that you guys need to know. So the algorithm goes right side up. So this is the right side, and you're moving it up, upper layer, which is the U face. So this is the upper layer, clockwise, right side down, upper layer counterclockwise. Now in cube notation, it would look like this. It's R, U, R prime, U prime. So that's how this algorithm goes, and you need to know how to memorize this algorithm, because if you don't memorize it, then you can't solve the cube, and this is a really important algorithm that you need to know. So make sure you practice doing this right-handed algorithm. That's R, U, R prime, U prime, just like this. until you have it memorized, and then you can move on to the next part of the video. So make sure to practice this algorithm. Alright, so now you have the algorithm supposedly memorized. So once you have the algorithm supposedly memorized, you want to choose a corner that's on the upper layer, that's white. So we want to put all the white corners in their spots here, and you want to choose a white corner that's on the upper layer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose this one right here. Then what you want to do is you want to move this corner right above where it's supposed to go. So this white corner, which is the white, orange, and green one, is supposed to go right here, and I can tell that because that's where the white, orange, and green centers intersect. So the corner is supposed to fit here because there's the green, the orange, and the white, and that's where the centers intersect. Now what you do is you put it right here, you put it on the right side. You don't want to put it like this, you want to put it on the right side. Then you do the algorithm that I just taught you. It's R, U, R prime, U prime. And you do this algorithm until it's in a spot right there. So make sure you do the algorithm, and then once it's in a spot, you're good. So now what you do is you find another corner that's white on the top. I'm going to choose this one, and I'm going to move it. And when you're moving it, you only use the yellow face. Don't use any of the other faces, by the way. You only use the yellow face when moving it, and you put it right here. Now this algorithm can take up to 5 times, so you might have to do this algorithm 5 times, or you maybe just have to do it once. It just depends on what case you have. So I do the algorithm. And now it's in its spot. So you may have to do this a bunch of times. It just depends on what case you have and how you're going to solve that case. So you have this one, which is my next one, and I can move it right above its spot. And I can do R, U, R prime, U prime, and then it's in its spot. So you guys need to make sure you know that algorithm and you can use it effectively, because that's how you insert all the corners. So I have my last one, I put it right where the centers intersect, and you want to put it right above. So you don't want to put it right there because that's where it's actually supposed to go, but you want to put it above where the 3 centers intersect, because the algorithm rotates this piece and this piece. So these 2 pieces swap and rotate. So you want to put it right above where this piece is supposed to go, because these 2 pieces will swap and rotate. So you know that the yellow, red, and blue corner will be right here once you're done with the algorithm, because that's just the way the algorithm works. And as you can see, the yellow, red, and blue corner is right there. So that's how the algorithm works, and it just swaps those 2 corners and rotates them. Also, if you have a corner that's in its part, but it just needs to be twisted, or it's not in the right orientation, what you can do is you can just do R, U, R prime, U prime to take it out. And now, as you can see, it's already in its spot, and you can just keep doing it. And if it's in the wrong spot, you can also just do R, U, R prime, U prime to take it out. So we have the first layer solved, and to start the middle layer, what you need to do is you need to learn the mirrored algorithm for the right side. So the right-handed algorithm was R, U, R prime, U prime, and it's right layer up, upper layer clockwise, right layer down, upper layer counterclockwise. And if you do that 6 times, it just goes back into its normal state. So if I do it 6 times, just like this, it's back in its normal state. Now what you need to do is you need to learn the left-handed part of that. Left layer up, upper layer counterclockwise, left layer down, upper layer clockwise. So make sure you practice that one too, because both these algorithms will come in handy. So what you want to do in this step is to insert each of the individual edge into these individual edge spots. So first what you want to do is you want to look on the top and see if there's any edges that aren't yellow. So these 2 would be yellow edges, but these 2 aren't yellow edges. So I want to find any of them. So I just pick any of the edges that aren't yellow, and I move the edge so it is right connected to its center. So as you can see, this edge is connected to its center because the edge is orange and the center is just like that. And if I were to do the green and orange one, that would be like that also. But I'm going to choose this edge to put right there. So now is where the algorithm part comes in. And the way it works is, first, to put this edge in here, what you need to do is start on the orange side because that's the front. And what you need to do is, first you need to move the edge away from the slot. Then you do the right-handed algorithm. And note, this is for the right-handed slot. It's a different one if you want to put it in the left side. First, you move the upper layer away, so it's like that. Then you do the right-handed algorithm. Then, since I started on the orange side, the other part of the edge is the blue, so I rotate to the blue side. Then I do the left-handed algorithm. And as you can see, it's in its slot right there. So now let's do it for some other edges. So I can choose this green one right here, and I can either choose any of them. I don't want to choose one of the yellow ones though. Then what you do is you move it away, and since this one is in the left slot, there's a different algorithm, so I move it away, but it's basically mirrored the same thing. And then since I'm moving it into the left part, I do the left-handed algorithm. Then I rotate to the other side, so I started on orange and the edge is orange and green, so I rotate to the green side. Then I do the right-handed algorithm. So it involves doing each algorithm on both sides and choosing which slot you want to put it into. So now let's look at some other ones. I can do this blue one right here because it's all ready. Then I move it away. Since it's in the left side, I do the left-handed algorithm, rotate, right-handed algorithm. Then I do the last one and I move it away, left-handed algorithm, move it back, right-handed algorithm. So that's how you do each of the edges. Now there may be some confusing cases that I'll show you right here. So you may notice that if you have your middle layer not solved yet, so this isn't fully solved because this one needs to be flipped. There's no edges that are on the top that aren't yellow. See, all these edges are yellow, but this middle layer still isn't solved. So what you want to do is you want to choose a yellow edge, and then to take this one out, you put the yellow one in. So if I swap these two, then this edge will be on the top and this one will be in here, so you can insert this one normally. So I'm choosing this edge, then I can move it away. Since I'm moving it to the right, right-handed algorithm, rotate, left-handed algorithm. And as you can see, this edge is right here, so I can just insert it normally. And now, as you can see, I have my whole middle layer solved. What you do here is you will come to the last layer, and as you can see, my first two layers are solved, and you will come into three cases. One looks like this, and first, if you have another case, you may want to keep watching, and I'll go over that case later, but this case looks like this, and how you solve this case is you still use mostly the same algorithm. So if you have this horizontal bar that looks like this, you want to position it so that it's across and it's not vertical. You don't want it to be vertical like this, you want it to be across. Then the algorithm that goes with it is first you do an F move just like this, then you do R, U, R prime, U prime, then you undo the F move. And now you have your yellow cross solved. So this step is solving the yellow cross, and now I'll go over the other cases. So as you can see, this is another case. And if you're in the last case with the dot, still hang on with me. I'll go over that one after this one. So as you can see, I have this case where I have this V shape that looks like a V, and don't care about the corners, they don't matter in this part. The only thing that matters is the edges, so the corners don't matter for this part. So then what you do is you do mostly the same algorithm, but for the V case, what you do is you do your F, and you want to position it in the left back side. You want it to face that side back there, and what you do is you do your F, then you do your R, U, R prime, U prime twice. Then you undo the F. And now as you can see, your cross is solved. So for that case, what you do is you do it twice. And now let's go over the dot case. So here's the last of the three cases for solving the yellow cross. And in this case, what you do is from any position, since there's no edges, you do from any position, you can just do F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime. And then as you can see, I have the V case. So I can just solve it like I would do for the normal V case. I have it positioned toward the left backside. Then I do the algorithm twice, undo the F, and now as you can see, it's solved. So if you have the dot case, you just from any different state, you can do the F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime, and then it will lead you to a different case. So if you're on a case, and as you can see, I have these yellow edges, but you don't know what to do, you're stuck, and you can't remember the algorithm for it, what you do is from any different spot, so I could do it from anywhere, I can just do an F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime, and that will lead me to a different case. And you could just rotate to see if it's another different case, and it will lead you to a different case if you do F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime. And now if I remember the horizontal bar case, then I can do it again, and now it's solved. So on the step where you don't have your yellow cross solved, just to solve it, you just need to try the F, R, U, R prime, U prime, and that will give you a different case. So once you're in this step, the next step is to orient the yellow edges. So the way that would work is all the yellow edges will be oriented with their center, kind of like we did for the first cross when we solved the white cross. So what you want to do is you want to choose any of these yellow edges. So I'm going to choose this green one, and I'm going to move it over to its center. Now you check to see if any of the other yellow edges are oriented. And if this one red is oriented, then that's bad. You only want one of the edges to be oriented. You don't want two. So then what you do is you move it over and choose a different edge. I have this orange one right here, and I check to see if the other edges aren't oriented, and neither of them are. So then what you do is you do this algorithm. Now you still don't want to care about the corners, we'll solve them later. So the algorithm that you do goes like this. it's R, U, R prime, U prime, like you used to do with your right hand. Then you do a U2, so it's in the back, this corner's in the back. Then you do R, just like that. Then you do a U2, R prime. And then all of your edges should be oriented, but if all your edges aren't oriented, then you can just do it again and then they all will be. If you follow the steps that only one edge is solved and it's in the front. Now, you may come to a case where, as you can see, I have these two edges oriented, but then I don't have these two ones that are opposite. So if I move these two into place, then I have this one oriented and this one. So you can't really get out of this case. All the edges are oriented and you can't really change it. So for this case, what you need to do is, if the two edges opposite aren't oriented, what you need to do is you need to just do the algorithm that I just showed you from any rotation. So I do the RU, R prime, U prime, then you do the U2, R, U2, R prime. And now, as you can see, I'm in a different case, so I can just do the same thing with the orange, just like that. I make sure none of the other ones are matching, and then I do the algorithm, and now all of mine are matching. So now, as you can see, all of my edges are oriented, and the next step is to put all of the yellow corners facing the yellow face. So I want all these corners to face the yellow face. It doesn't matter yet if they're correct like this one. I just want them to face the yellow face. So what you do is you move the white so the white layer's on top, and you need to keep the white on top from now on. Then what you do is you move the layer so that an incorrect edge, which is an edge that's not facing the yellow face, is in the bottom right corner spot. So I wouldn't want it to be like this because this one is facing the yellow face. I only want this one to be right there. Then you do R, U, R prime, U prime until that corner is facing the bottom. And you need to make sure you finish off your U prime, because if I just do RU, R prime, then that would mess it up. So make sure you finish off the RU, R prime, U prime. So this one is facing the bottom, so that one's good. Then what you do is you move this corner, which is another one, into that spot. Now you don't want to rotate and solve this corner. What you want to do is you want to stay in the same face, so you never rotate. If you rotate, that would mess things up. So you want to stay in this face, and then you put this corner right here using the bottom layer to move. Then you do the same thing. And you do this until it's like that. And you need to make sure you watch, because you could just skip it and miss it. So then you have this one right here, you move it over, then you keep doing the algorithm. And now, as you can see, all my corners on the bottom are yellow, and what you want to do is you put all the yellow edges back. So now all you have to do is put the corners into their spots. Hey guys, as you can see, you're really close to finishing. This last step is known as PLL, and competitive speed cubers can solve this in only one algorithm, just like this. But if you want to solve this step, what you need to do is go like this, and as you can see, you still keep the white on top. Then what you do is you should come to any of these four cases. The first one looks like this with the block, and you should come to this one the most often. So what you do is you still want to have this one as an incorrect one. So the corner right here shouldn't be correct, and as you can see, I wouldn't want to put it like this. What you want to do is you want to make sure you know that this corner is not solved, so it wouldn't be good if I had that one there. Then what you do is you move this one up, just like this. Then you do a U2, then you do an R prime, and as you can see, it's in the back right here. And this corner, as you can see, is yellow, orange, and green. So then what you want to do is you want to move the yellow, orange, and green one right here. So this is where the yellow, orange, and green ones intersect and match, because I have the orange and green, and then I have the yellow. So then what you do is you do R, U2, R prime again, and then it's in that spot right there. So as you can see, I put that corner in. So then you repeat it for the other corners. I have this one, and that one's yellow, red, and blue. So I moved the down layer, and again, you don't want to rotate to a different side. You just want to move the down layer. So make sure you get good at moving the down layer. Then I have it right there. I can do the R, U2, R prime, and then it's in its spot again. And then I move it back, and then this is the one that's the orange and blue. Then I do R, U2, R prime, and then it's solved. So that's the last step, which is permuting the corners. Now, if you ran into a problem which you didn't get a case that I just showed, then I'll tell you how you can do those. So this is another case that you might have, and if you still have a different case than this one, then I'll go over that later. So as you can see, I have all my edges oriented. So I have this yellow, green, and red one right here. Then what I do is I do the RU2 R prime, Then I move this one over here because that's where the yellow, green, and red go, and then I move that one in. Then I move the other one right here because that's where the orange and blue go. Put it in, and now as you can see, I just need to swap these two. So as you can see in this step, all the yellow corners are on the top, and I just need to swap these two diagonally. So what I do is I move another corner right here. Instead of trying to insert this one since it's already white, you just kind of start over and do the process over again. So I move this one here, I do the RU to R prime, then I move the down layer, and then I put this one in right here because that's where the orange and green go. And now I have my last one, which is right here, which is the red and blue. I move it just like that, put it in, and then it's solved. So you kind of just need to start over if you're in one of those cases, which isn't a cycle, it's more of a swap. So in cubing, a swap is when you just swap these two. A cycle is with 3 and a swap is with 2. So if it's a swap, you need to start over, and here's another example of a swap. So here's another example of a swap where I have this corner, and I move this one RU to R prime out, put this one here, RU to R prime. Then I have this one right here. Then I do another RU to R prime, put that in, and now we're in the same exact case. So you just need to move another corner on the down layer and take that one out. Then move it back and put it in its spot, and then do the last one. So if you're in those cases where those are swaps, you just need to use a different corner for the next part. Hey guys, I hope you learned to solve your first Rubik's Cube with this video. I really recommend practicing these steps over and over again, and in the description, as you can see, there's those little timestamps where you can check to see which step you want to go to, so you can go right to that step if you want to relearn it. I hope this video helped you guys so you learn how to solve your Rubik's Cube, and if you didn't learn or messed up, make sure to comment below and ask me any questions or feedback so that I will know and I'll respond to you if you have any questions. Now I will be doing some example solves in the future, so make sure to check out that video. Once I have it, I'll put it in the description, but make sure to check out the example solves video once I have that come out. That will be me doing some beginner method example solves, and I'll probably do like 3 of them, so make sure to check that out when it comes out. Now, if you want to get faster at solving the Rubik's Cube, there's also a different method that you could use to solve it, and that's CFOP, and that's the method that speed cubers use, and that's what most of my tutorials on my channel are about. So I'll have a video covering the whole CFOP method coming soon, so make sure to check that one out, because if you want to get faster, you might want to learn a new method once you first solve your Rubik's Cube. Hey guys, I hope this video really helped you out in solving your first cube. Go show someone and teach them how to solve it. Make sure to share this video if you have anyone else that needs to learn how to solve it, and like it so that more people will be able to view it, and be sure to subscribe if you want more cubing tips, and that will help my channel out. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this video helped you, and I'll see you all next time.